Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Media's publications, Transformer Technology, Power Systems Technology, and Women in Power Systems. We're here at the IEEE PES T&D conference in Anaheim in 2024, the 60th anniversary. These interviews are with thought leaders to be able to bring the best of the marketplace to you. My next guest is Dr. Bahadir Basdere, and he is the you're the managing director, or
the group CEO. Right now, I'm the president and the group CEO of Trench. In Siemens, I was running the Trench business as vice president.
Okay. The C level is a better level.
It's the better level, yeah.
Right. Gives you a little bit more authority.
Exactly.
First, I want to talk about, and I know we've done this because we've done an interview before. We published, I think, about a year and a half ago. But how did you get into the industry? Because you're a PhD in mechanical engineering. God bless you as a mechanical engineer. How did you get into the power industry in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, after graduating from Technical University of Berlin and after spending nearly a year here in the US and the University of Michigan Ann Arbor, I had to make a decision. Do I pursue an academic career or do I go in industry? And for me, it was clear. I'll go to industry, and I joined Siemens in 2004. And in the power generation part of the industry. I was in heavy gas turbines business, various positions, engineering, manufacturing, for 10 years. I was even running a joint venture with a US company called Chromaloy that was focusing on turbine blades and vanes. And after being 10 years in the generation part of the industry, I joined distribution first, and was responsible for oil distribution transformers of Siemens back then.
Yeah.
And afterwards, in 2018, I joined what is today Trench.
Right. And you were the vice president operating that.
Exactly.
And there was another organization involved with Trench. What was that? HSV?
Exactly. So Trench Group today has two very strong brands. One is Trench, and the other one is HSP, being the top-notch provider of dry-type bushings. Okay.
We're going to talk about Trench a little bit, but I want to first of all talk about your opening line to your interview last time was, this is the best of times, this is the worst of times. Now, you didn't say that, but you said great growth, everything's wonderful, but there are challenges. 18 months later, talk about where we are now and what those challenges are and what those opportunities are as an industry.
So 18 months later, there's even more growth that we're seeing, and there are even bigger challenges, but it's a great market to be in, of course. So we have to catch up with a lot of things when you compare the last 20 years of our industry. Now the demand is really picking up. First challenge is to make sure that you secure supply in a high quality manner. I'm very glad that we have a global network of 9 factories that are well looped. They're like a machinery, and they are supplying the industry with the key components and mission critical components for the grid extension that we're seeing all over the world.
Lead times in transformer manufacturing now have gotten enormous. They were bad 18 months ago. We didn't realize how bad they were going to become. Part of it was lack of planning, and part of it was the demand had been flat for so long that it was just unexpected for this. Now we have data center growth. You have growth in dry type transformers. There isn't a category that we don't have real growth in. Even pad mount transformers used to have inventory. Now they're 12 months to 18 months. And a power transformer, especially a specialty power transformer, could be 3 to 4 years. That has an impact on the customers. That has an impact on society. Before we get to what Trench is doing to support that, there's a negative downside to that, because we can only go so long without transformers, right? As an industry, how do we address that?
Well, the industry was very reluctant in the last 2.5 years to add capacity to this market, because 15 years ago, they burnt their fingers. When we had the boom, that was a short cycle. Everyone added capacity to the market, and then we had the financial crisis, and industry was suffering 10, 12 years under little demand and overcapacities.
Right.
So people were reluctant and cautious, but now we're seeing that all big players in industry are adding substantial capacities to the market to meet the market demand.
Right.
And the market demand, I see it as sustainably given. We will see these levels of demand for power and electricity over the next 7 to 10 years. It will not end. Right. The major driver is digitalization. I mean, just look at artificial intelligence, how much energy this will consume, and how much more data centers will be required to do so. So now we see the players adding capacities, and now the key question is how fast can those capacities be added?
Okay.
And how fast can the component suppliers, it's not only about power transformers, it's about the rest of the components that compile a substation and that compile the grid, can follow and add capacities to the market.
Let's talk about trench, because you are a critical supplier to the transformer industry, right? And I talked to a number of people here, and as you go, they go. Your lead times affect their lead times. And Trench just underwent a unique buyout, actually. You are no longer part of Siemens. You are now a standalone. You've got it all. You are now the CEO of is it still the Trench Group?
It is the Trench Group,
with the two brands that you're doing. Talk a little bit about how that came about and how you're feeling about that.
Yeah. So let me answer the second question first.
Okay.
I feel great, and the whole team feels great. And the reason for this carve out from Siemens Energy, after being part of Siemens and Siemens Energy for 20 years,
right,
is to allow Trench to grow with the market and even beyond the market growth.
Right.
We are one of the biggest players in this market, and we were traditionally serving the whole market, not only Siemens and Siemens Energy, but also the other big players. And it was clear that Trench can unleash its potential much better being standalone. Now we have a owner, Triton Partners, who are really appreciating Trench as a platform player and a platform portfolio company, and who are willing to invest in our capacities and in our growth. And this is what it's about. Today, we are a company that is round about 650, 700 million in size. We will, and this is our ambitious target, shortly be a 1 billion company and serving the whole globe and all key players with our innovative components.
One of the key players is here in the United States, where we are today. What are your plans for expansion? You're already in the United States. You're well known. You're well respected. But what is to get to that $1 billion? This market has to be a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Trench was always a strong player in the U.S. In North America as general, but in particular in the U.S. And we will be increasing our U.S. footprint going forward. We have plans to build up a facility in the U.S. that will produce components, that will produce bushings. And it's not only the commodity part of the bushings. We are considering to bring high voltage DC technology also to the U.S. There we are unique, and this is our USP. This way we will even strengthen our footprint in the U.S. even more.
Manufacturing here?
Exactly. This is our plans.
All right. You have any idea where?
Well, this is being investigated.
When you find out, let me know. We'll publish it. Okay, we'll get it out there. Because we just interviewed the Transformer Manufacturers Association of America. You know, they're a lobbying group here in the United States. One of their big issues is how do we get more component suppliers from friendly, because Trench is always a friendly supplier, whether you're not considered an unfriendly one, but really getting more domestic production of component supplies. Bushings are probably one of the most critical, other than steel, probably the most critical part of a transformer, right?
Absolutely.
And they're a little bit more technology basis than steel, so that's going to be a brilliant move when you do that. You mentioned something, and it piqued my interest. Triton is supportive of using trench group as a platform. Does that mean there could be things outside of bushings and outside of the commodity components?
Absolutely.
Look, see, you're smiling.
Yes.
I know it's something.
So today we are one of the strongest players as we are providing a wide range of portfolio. We have the bushings in all voltage levels, from the very low ones up to 1200 kV DC. We have the instrument transformers, where we are very strong in North America with our Canadian plant in Pickering, close to Toronto. And we have the coils and the air core reactors, and this business is a key critical supplier also for the HVDC demand that we're seeing globally. Of course, we're thinking about adjacencies. We have a strong sales force that can not only sell bushings, instrument transformers and coils, but other products. And we can contribute also to the adjacencies with our technology and our R&D expertise. And serve the customers out of one hand and with a complete basket. This is our intention.
And it's a great pedigree. The name, the trust, the quality. When they hear that name, people know that you've been doing. That's a great pedigree for Triton. So I would encourage your Triton owners to really invest in your growth.
And our owners, they are very interested in the T&D industry. They're not only owning Trench as a big platform company. Sediver, for instance, a very well-known supplier for glass insulators, also a key player in the HVDC market, is also a Triton portfolio company, and there are other portfolio companies that Triton has that are in the T&D arena.
I love to see strategy that comes together when it starts to come together with good owners, good financing, good systems. Speaking of good systems, which I just did, the two biggest issues that transformer manufacturers have are supply chain, because that's affects it, and labor. You have the same issues. You're going to have supply chain issues, and you're going to have labor issues, because if you're going to grow to that level, you've got to have the right skilled, but kind of trained skilled, because it's a very specific manufacturing process that you do. Talk a little bit about what Trench Group is doing about labor future and about your own suppliers.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the supply chain first. And of course, we are very much dependent on our partners. I don't call them suppliers, they are our partners. But we are also heavily active in vertical integration. Doing more of what is today being done in the supply chain to give the supply chain a little bit of relief. That also supports the lead times. Coming to the most important resource, which is the human resource, it's a very important and a very critical issue. And our approach is that we try to bake our own people. So we are into training, we have apprenticeship programs. We are cooperating with universities, we are sponsoring students and try to involve the young people as early as possible in our industry and make sure that we have the adequate resources to support the growth.
The apprenticeship programs take a long time. As you say, bake, that cake takes a long time to bake, but it has proven, especially for Germany, it has proven the best method of creating and keeping career-wise, the talent longer, because you get them more young, you get them early, and they're part of the family, right?
Absolutely, and it's a key element also to retain people. Nothing is worse than hiring people and then losing them maybe because there are misunderstandings. So the key is to get the people as early as possible in their careers, and to train them on the product, on the process, and make them become a trenchy.
Trenchy, I like that. When a company goes from, when you're in Siemens, which is a great company, great culture, but it's a Siemens culture, right? You're now the head of the culture. The future culture of Trench Group is going to be under your auspices as the CEO. I have a philosophy that culture trumps strategy. Culture is an important part of it. What is your philosophy about building a culture? Because it's already a good one. where are you going to take it?
Well, first of all, Trench had the privilege to keep and develop its own culture over the last 20 years, even under the ownership of Siemens.
Okay.
Unlike other acquisitions, Siemens never fully integrated Trench.
Oh,
the factories,
yeah.
the entities, they were running under own brand, under full P&L. So from that perspective, it was easier to carve out
Okay.
and to develop the culture over the past years since I took over. But clearly, it is a culture of trust that is needed to attract and to retain the people, and a culture of high-performing individuals and high-performing company.
Yeah.
And of course, we give the people, our team, a purpose. We are the major player in sustainability and environmentally friendly components. We serve the full range of instrument transformers with blue technology, which means no SF6.
Oh, really? Okay.
Insulated
Good.
with
Yeah,
clean
yeah.
air. We are a big player in all three elements of our portfolio when it comes to environmentally friendly products.
No, that's
And,
excellent.
This is something that the young generation is also looking for, to be part of this and to contribute to what is needed.
It's a great story to tell that generation that says what you do makes a difference. You're changing the world in a positive way. You're benefiting society, and what you do makes a difference in the fact that you're not polluting in doing that. That you bring. That alone is a culture. Okay, that
Absolutely.
As it relates to, so if I'm a customer, okay, I'm a transformer manufacturer, and you're coming to me, what do you tell me now that's different about Trench that you couldn't have told me when you were under Siemens?
Well, obviously today we have a owner that is not part of the big 3 or 4 globally.
Right.
So we are independent, and we offer to all big players our innovation power and our technology leadership.
Yeah. Even though you did that before, not all of them would accept it. Now you're independent.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, being part of one of the big players always gives you a little bit of challenges.
Yeah.
Though I also have to say that Siemens Energy is and will remain a very important partner of ours.
Right.
So they depend on us, and
Yeah.
to a certain extent we depend, of course, on their success as well.
Yeah.
But we are very well engaged and cooperating, and have been cooperating also with the other big players, may it be General Electric or Hitachi and all the other big ones.
You mentioned something, and you got right off of it. One of the biggest areas of growth in the United States is data centers. Data centers are booming because it's geopolitical problems. We're not going to have data centers in Asia where we don't think we can control the data, right? So there's just this huge influx of growth of data centers here. How does that impact transformers, and how does that impact Trench?
Well, it's the key driver for the growth that we're seeing. I
Okay.
mean, it is even overarching the drivers of electromobility or electrification of other industrial areas. Data centers will be the key driver for the rising electricity demand of the future. I'm waiting for the traditional industry branches to understand what artificial intelligence can deliver on productivity, on ease in the processes. And once the industry has understood how powerful and how artificial intelligence can be applied, it will even boost the demand for data centers more than we see today.
And that's why you're planning for that future to do some sort of facility, to have more product here, because it is, that demand is, the projections are, we're already looking at a 13 to 17% annual year-over-year growth. Now they're talking about into the 20s, and we're not ready for it. As an industry, we're not ready for that kind of growth. We just don't have the capacity. Everybody's adding capacity, but as you said earlier, they were a little bit goosey. So I think they're adding capacity, but I don't think they're adding capacity to the extent it needs to be added, which is where you all have to come along. You're a key component of the supply chain. Last question I've got for you is a little bit off subject, IEEE. We're going to be doing a special feature for IEEE in August, and I've been around IEEE for about 15 years, a member for 15 years. I wasn't one of those people I was an ME, right? And I didn't get in as a student, but the things that strike me about it are it's unique. As an organization, I think the motto is for the benefit of society, and it truly is. Talk to me about what IEEE means to you, what it means to Trench.
Well, for me, the IEEE is the platform for our industry to represent our industry in North America and to make sure that there's a certain kind of coordination of our industry, that we commonly, as players in our industry, move in the right direction. This is how I see IEEE, and it's a great platform to keep and continue the exchange with the other players in the market. And it brings customers and component suppliers and transformer suppliers together.
Yeah, and collaboration is the word.
Absolutely.
There's more collaboration that takes place within IEEE. Lifelong learning, obviously you're a lifelong learner. Lifelong sharing, obviously you share, and that's what makes this organization so unique. Doctor, so much. I call you doctor because I love shaking hands with a true doctor. Okay, appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.